Okay, SPLs, Scholar Practitioner Leaders, Data Scientists, welcome back to our lecture 3 of 4 now. We just wrapped up our lecture 2 of 4 for our 2025 fall statistics for data science, section MSDS 531 A01 for the first bi-term of the fall, as you guys can see. And I hope that everyone really appreciates my visual aid behind me. So, since it is now the fall time, I didn't really mention it a lot in the first initial video, but welcome, guys. I know we're just getting over the summer. It's beginning of the fall, or it's beginning to look like fall, as you can see. Okay, so let's piggyback on our last lecture, guys, 2 of 4. I want to go back to what I was mentioning in regard to uh, the modern statistics with an R. Now, as I previously mentioned, that's going to be the electronic book that is provided to each and every one of you guys as we go through the chapter. So it's not going to be a book that you click on like in your course materials, although you see that next to our course book. The Modern Statistics with the R is the book, again, that's always going to be inside of our chapter. As I was mentioning on lecture 2 of 4, that section 3.1 is a section that you guys are going to have to be responsible for. That's going to be a part of your deliverables for this week, okay? So 3.1 is data frames and data types, okay? So you're going to start there, read the chapter, guys. You got to take great notes in this course. Take notes on my lecture, my oral lecture that I'm giving you now. Same thing when you're reading your chapters. Always take notes from both books. Your regular course book by Bruce, and Getrick, and then also your Modern Statistics with an R, your embedded book with the links provided to you throughout the respective weeks. Okay, so and then in 3.1, as I just alluded to, data frames and data types. You're going to take notes out of that section. The same thing with 3.2, which is going to be the vectors in data frames, right? And then 3.3 is going to be importing data. And then 3.4 is saving and exploring your data, okay? Or exporting your data, excuse me. Okay, so take good notes out of that modern statistics with an R embedded links that are provided to you, okay? You got to read those sections, guys, and go to a nice quiet place, take exceptional notes because you're going to need those notes for your midterm, and your final exam. So start now here in week 1 that you're taking great notes, okay? So that way you guys will always get all the points because Dr. Mark has already given you the precursor on how to be successful when you're presenting your content, okay? And we're getting closer and closer to going over our assignments, okay? So right now, I'm just wrapping up the previous lecture from 2 of 4, okay? Now, also, uh, for the course material for this week, because it was all about course material from lecture 2 of 4. We got a supplemental book material. As I previously mentioned, guys, you guys know it's that R tutorial, the R tool, Modern Statistics with an R. There's a tutorial down at the bottom of the page. Click that. That way you can get accustomed to that modern statistics with an R. It's called R tutorial. It gives you everything that you need to know so you can be successful as those two go hand in hand. Modern statistics with an R and the tutorial, along with any supplemental book materials that you may need. Click that link I provided. So if you want to reach out and get another book or purchase on your own, there are some supplemental book materials for our course during our time together. But that's your discretion if you guys want to pursue any other books that maybe you can put in your Rolodex, put in your library at home, or just stash. Hey, like I said, that's for you. Feel free to purchase any books from our supplemental book material or follow the links or whatever it tells you to do if you want to actually invest in some thus supplemental book material. But yes, the art tutorial is there for you. So anything that you're not familiar with, if you're kind of getting sort of, I guess you can say, not at a good place by using the modern statistics with an R, there is an R tutorial for you. Okay. Alrighty. So life should be good. So with that being said, now let's go ahead and touch base on of our assignments for this week. Okay. Now our first assignment, as I previously mentioned in lecture 1 of 4, because I started off already talking about the 10 points, the 10 points, the 10 points, right? So just remember, guys, as I previously mentioned, let's go ahead and do our introductions, get that out of the way. Uh, just talk about, your current occupation and employer, okay? Be open about it, be candid, because a lot of people actually like to hear from their peers, what are you doing in the context of what I'm doing? Oh, I'm just a full-time student. Well, I actually work at Meta or I work at whoever, right? It's good to know who's in your space with you. That's a great thing. Okay. And then also talk about your experience and background with statistics. I want to know your background. Some of you guys might have had statistics in high school, right? Had it in undergrad. So, like I had it in undergrad and graduate. So, but yeah, let's talk about your statistics background in your introduction with each other. Okay. Now, here is the discussion topic that I was talking about. Okay. So you got two things in one. You got your welcome, 2 points that I want you to talk about, your name, your current occupation, and employer. And then the second thing is your experience and background with statistics. Okay. That's a separate entity, or you can put it all on the same page. Okay. Now, your discussion topic that is due by Thursday, you're going to talk about why the study of statistics. Why are you here for statistics? Excuse me. Okay. Just drink me some soda. All right, so you're going to talk about why you're actually here for statistics, okay? Now, with that being said, you're going to go into modern computing power is causing a revolution in data analysis. Okay, we're going to be looking at the key drivers that have been the rapid development of new technology in regard to just accessing more and more bigger data, right? And the greater use of quantitative analysis in a variety of disciplines. I want you to answer those questions, guys. Okay, I got 2 questions that I want you to answer. Why statistics? Then you're going to go into those 2 sub questions based on what I just talked about, their context. Why is computing power so influential in data analysis? And number 2, why is almost any sort of data so valuable to the companies and the government? So you're going to really elaborate on that. I want that in the APA format, as you can see there. And that's going to be due, your initial post is due by Thursday, as I mentioned earlier. Okay. So answer that, put that nice. Well, I tell you what, it does, your discussion topics, let me scratch that, does not have to be in a template. Okay. But if you want to put it in a template, you put it in APA format, that's on you. You don't have to for discussion posts. So I want to make that very clear. For discussion posts, you don't have to use our APA template. So you can just, as long as you have 3 in-text citations and references that you're talking about, that's all I care about, right? So do a good job with that. Make sure you have that initial post it by 11:59 on Thursday, okay? And then your 2 peer responses, you got to have it completed by Sunday. Each of those peer responses got to have 3 in-text citations, APA format, along with the references, okay? Same thing with that initial post that's due on Thursday. So it's a total of 9 in-text citations and references, 3 for the initial post on Thursday, and then 3 for each of your 2 peer responses. And that's it. And that's worth 10 points, guys. So do not lose those 10 points. That's your first assignment, okay? And I'm just checking here. Give me one quick second. Okay, good. All right, so our second assignment that you're going to appreciate is called Drills with R on Importing and Plotting Data, okay? and finding the distribution measures. You're going to really like this assignment, guys. Actually, you're going to like all the assignments because that's what it's all about, enjoying Dr. Mark's assignments, right? Okay. So this is the assignment where you're going to have to just follow my instructions, okay? It's all about using that R tool, as I told you about. Get familiar with the R tool. So if you need that tutorial before you even start, click on that tutorial link. That tutorial link that I gave you is huge, okay? It breaks down the R2 in a granular manner so you don't get confused. And as you can see on this second assignment, there is an index of data sets, okay? Now, I'm not going to read this all to you. I want to make sure, you notice I got the word instructions at the top, right? Follow the instructions of this assignment. And that's part of my course, guys. I want to see how keen you guys are in regard to giving me my deliverables that I expect in my assignments that I assign to you, okay? So in this assignment, it's all about providing in the plain text R commands to find and solve the following, okay? So you're going to use that R tool to solve this equation, basically. It's like an equation. It really is. So I want you to enjoy it. That's why I'm not going to go over it. But there's two sections of this, okay? Okay, you got the initial overview of what it's about. Then you got to answer the first set of questions in the second part of the assignment. And then finally, in the third part of the assignment, there's three additional questions that you're going to have to answer, okay? And it's all using statistical analysis via the R tool, using statistics. Now, when you do this assignment, and any assignment, when you're giving me my content, make sure it's all in APA format. I want to see my screenshots. I want to see my overall Excel spreadsheets, your data, any type of data. Make sure you box it. Put a box around it and put it in APA format where it's going to be a figure title that's going to be in bold at the top. Then underneath, you're going to have the overall note. Note is always in italics. So you're going to have the word note spelled out, colon, and then one sentence, all in italics, including the word note. The figure title at the top of any screenshot, any Excel spreadsheet, any figure has to be a box around it. Make sure it's nice and neat. Put the title, figure 1, colon, all in bold, and then the title of the actual screenshot or whatever it is, figure that you're showing me. So again, I'm gonna say it again, guys. Figure 1, colon, the name of the actual figure or screenshot, all in bold. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, colon, and then the name of the actual title, all in bold. Okay, capitalized appropriately. Underneath it, the bottom part is going to be a note. The word note is in italics, colon, and then one complete sentence. That's it. I don't want a paragraph. It's just one sentence. If you have any questions, go look at the APA manual for figures. Okay, what I'm explaining to you is exactly how it's supposed to look. Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay, all righty. So always make sure you're giving me your content in an APA format. Again, I'm giving you the template. You're going to have that, and I'm going to have that note in regard to figures in it as well. So there's no uncertainty on how I want your APA scholarly papers to look, okay? So that's when you're doing this instructions assignment. So I just want you guys to have a good lay of the land on that. So there's no ambiguity, no uncertainty, because I want to make sure you guys are good to go. Everything is crystal clear. So I'm giving you the template. Look at the template on the announcement board. The paper template, I got everything laid out for you. Always make your paper like that with your content, everything in APA format, because you're going to have a lot of content. You're going to have your figures, you're going to have screenshots, you're going to have your Excel spreadsheet, you're going to have all your data. All your data, make sure you put a box around it. I don't want to have a whole bunch of data and it's just a mess and nothing's structured. I want everything to be structured nice and neat when you're presenting it to me. Because the way I look at it, guys, you guys are working for me. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm your employer, basically. Okay. So you're presenting your findings, your data findings, because you're doing a project for me at our organization, my company. Okay. You guys are my data scientists extrapolating data to come up with the end goal when you're inferencing the overall conclusion. Oh, and by the way, make sure you have a conclusion